3D Santa Claus Pendant Acrylic and Gel Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hi everyone! In today's video I'm going to be showing you my one and only Christmas pendant from this year. I do have a really cool one that I made a year ago that's a little bit bigger that could also be used as an ornament. This one is going to be a Santa Claus for kitties. So it's a little kitten with a little Santa hat on. And I have a little guest helper today. This is Max. She is the newest member of my family, and she just woke up from a nap, so she's pretty crazy right now. But yeah, you want to get out of the hat? She's, yeah, just a little cutie pie. She's very sweet. Yeah. So anyways, this, I just thought I'd do a cute little video of her, and I think that it looks adorable. So far she's getting along with Licorice, which is fantastic. So anyways, I just wanted to, yeah, do a quick intro with her to have her say hi. So I hope you guys like this design, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future holiday designs as well.
So here is the colors I'm going to be using that I just got from Madame Glam, and I kind of chose Christmassy type colors. So I've got a really gorgeous burgundy, a minty green, and then a gold and a silver holographic glitter, and I'll be using all of these in this cute little pendant. I think the minty green is the perfect background for my little Santa Claus. So I'm going to be, or Santa, yeah, Claus. Anyways, so I'm going to begin with 2 coats of that, and the color is Cross the Line. So I'm going to apply 1 coat to the center of my pendant base, not charm, pendant base. Sorry. Anyways, 2 coats. So there's the first coat, cure that, apply a second coat just to make sure that it's really opaque, especially when it's inside the pendant base. The metal doesn't really like to hold on to the gel as far as like making a thick coat. It doesn't grab onto it the same way that a nail does, so you really have to make sure you apply 2 reasonably thick coats to get the coverage. Otherwise, on an actual fingernail, these colors are super creamy and gorgeous and will definitely cover perfectly well. So then I'm just going to fill in the rest of the pendant base with a builder gel just to kind of bring it up to the same level, because it's got more thickness than just the gel polish has, more depth on it, and then apply a layer of gel sealer and cure that one final time. So now I'm going to be doing the rest of this with acrylic. So that was just the, or I guess besides the adding some of the color with the gel colors. But the rest of the sculpting is all going to be done with acrylic. So I'm going to begin with just a oval, very soft oval for her face, and then add just a little bit more acrylic coming down from that down to the bottom of the base to create her little shoulders and her little bit of her chest that shows. And I'm just going to take the tip of my brush and kind of poke in for the eye sockets, just kind of create those little indents, just starting that. I'll add way more details to the depth and dimension to her face later on. And then I'm going to be creating her one little paw that kind of is leaning, or her elbow that's leaning on the edge of the pendant base, and then her paw that's kind of curled over the side. Just like that. Create little tiny details for the indents of her different little fingers. And then for her other paw, I'm going to be adding just the other fingers sitting on the side. Now I have done a kitten in a pocket video that looked like a little kitten sitting in a denim pocket. Ooh, I can't talk. And I missed some of the sculpting on that video. So if you guys saw that video and like, oh man, there was some of that missing. This is a very good, it's basically the same thing, just in different context. So you guys can check that video out if you missed, or if you were upset about missing part of that. So then I went through and I sculpted her cheeks and her chin, and then I'm going to go and just kind of create a little bit more height on her forehead. You really want to try to keep her eye sockets indented. That's going to add so much depth because it just kind of creates that perfect little, you know, perfect little cat face. And you only have so much thickness to work with here, so you kind of have to play around with it some. And then add a little bit more to her forehead, just kind of evening it out, smoothing things out, making sure everything looks nice and good and there's no weird bumps or gaps or anything. And now she's got one ear that is out of the hat, not one hat that is out of the ear. One ear that is not inside the hat, so I'm going to sculpt that one and just kind of create that nice triangle for a cat ear, and then with the tip of your brush indent it on one edge to create where it goes into her head. Sounds a little funky. And then add her little kitty nose. And I did all of this with white and then did all the painting. I did the same thing with my other cat. For whatever reason, it just seems like that is the way to do this particular design, and I think it works out really well. Plus, this way you have a lot of freedom with how you paint your cat. So I obviously painted mine to kind of go with Max, but you can paint yours however you please. So now I'm going to be adding her hat. This is the one and only color acrylic I'm using. I used a little bit of red acrylic to create the base of her hat. I decided that would give a richer background before I put the burgundy gel polish on top of it. So I started out with that burgundy color just to kind of give it that nice, like I said, that nice richness underneath. And then going back to white acrylic, I'm going to add the trim on our hat, so the little poof ball on the end, and then the trim that goes along the bottom edge. just kind of go over that. As you can see, mine is turning a little bit pink. Whenever white acrylic touches red, it's not 100% set, mine turns pink. So I just learned to deal with that. Now I'm going to be taking and I'm going to be painting my little kitty. So I started on the face, and I'm just going to kind of create a gradient where her face is darker on the edges and gets lighter towards the center and around her eyes. So I'm just going to kind of softly do that and then carry that down her shoulders and then over her paws and over that one arm that shows. Just a little bit, kind of keep blending things out with more of the gray and some water. Kind of keep working on it. And it started out a little bit too dark on her face, so I'm going to go through now and just kind of lighten that up some, and then just keep going over. And I painted right over her eye sockets. I know I'm going to have to add eyes later, but just, you know, might as well keep it going. And then with a very light pink, I'm going to be adding just a little bit of color on her nose, on her chin, and then in her ear. Just a touch, like right where her lips are is where I added that pink on her chin. Add the gray on her ear and the back part of her ear where it shows there. And then I'm going to take some white and start blending white in over her cheeks. I want her cheeks to be really nice and bright, and her chin to be really nice and bright. And then I also added just a touch of this white on her chest a little bit. She's got a white tummy. And so now I'm going to be doing her eyes with green. So I also went through later and I put some of that gold holographic glitter on her eyes, which I am in love with the effect that that gives. Because it was such a small amount, I used just a tiny brush to apply it, and I applied it very thin. The green still shows from underneath it, so it has this green gold shift on it, which is just stunning. So then I added some more black details on her ear just to kind of deepen that some, adding some white highlights on her hat where that trim turned pink, because that's, you know, you want to cover that up. And then with black paint, I'm going to go through and I'm going to start doing some of the details on her eyes, beginning with the top outline and then doing a little bit on the bottom outline, just a touch. And I slightly diluted my black paint so that I could create these really nice thin lines, and it just paints a little bit easier. I didn't dilute it much. Basically what I do is I dip my paint in the brush and then I dip my brush in the water. So I go paint, water, and then I dab it on my thumb, and it works out really, really well. And so then with white, I'm going to go back to white and go around her eyes and create just this little furry highlight of white fur around her eyes. So she's got black eyeliner and then she's got white eyeliner. And then I'm going to add a little white highlight on her ear and then little ear hairs inside her ear. And then going back to black, I'm going to be starting to add all of her little fur stripes. So she's Max is a tiger stripe, so I'm going to be adding lots of those little tiger stripes. Now on this nail, I did make them a little bit darker and a little more intense than what hers are, but I kind of wanted to, I don't know, dramatize it, I guess you could say. So I'm going to be doing that, adding the little tear lines on her, outlining her nose some, and then I'm going to be doing just a slight little tiger stripes on her shoulders too. So this is the same thing. I have diluted black paint, especially for this. I am trying to actually dilute the color some too, because I want it to not be quite as black as just straight black paint would be. And I also did a little bit of outlining between her fingers on her paws, and then a couple little dots on her cheeks to create the little polka dots for her whiskers. And then going back with white, adding some little fur lines on her chest and on her paws. Just a touch of that white just to highlight her paws and make sure that they're really easy to see and make them kind of stick out a little farther. And then I'm going to add her pupils. Just very easy. Now her pupils are something that I'm going to have to repaint after the gold is on there, but you can still see them through there. So if you add them now, you kind of have an idea of where to put them. So now with deep burgundy, that gorgeous dark red color that I got from Madame Glam, I'm going to be applying that over her hat. And as you can see, it just kind of creates a really nice richness on there. And then with the silver hollow, which is called Silver Magic, I'm going to be painting that over the trim on her hat. And then with Hollow Party, which is that really gorgeous gold holographic gel, I'm going to be adding that in her eyes. After all that gel is on there, I actually didn't cure it between colors. I'm just going to go ahead and cure it then, and then touch up any of the details that need some fixing on her eyes. Just kind of go over her pupils and her tear ducts a little bit that needed some darkening, and then add a little white highlight in her eyes, and then apply a matte gel top coat basically over her face too, and over her arms and her ear, and then apply gel sealer over her hat, her eyes, and her nose. So any of those areas you really want to have highlighted and kind of pushed out. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys liked this design, and I hope you guys liked meeting Max. She's a bundle of energy. Please share any recreations with me on Facebook or Instagram. I would love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!